Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks, where we're starting off February, getting ready for the Bar Pro League event that's going to be going on all this month of February. Every Saturday, except for the first, we're going to have a Pro League event. There's some qualifiers and the main tournament coming up, and I got to get ready. So today we're going to be checking out a couple of 1v1 matches played between some absolute titans. So spawning over here and representing the blue side, not really the blue team I suppose, but the blue side nonetheless, as a Cortex commander, goes by the name of Bloodier. Maybe it's Bloodier, B-L-O-D-I-R. Now, all the way across the map here, spawning also as a Cortex commander, but representing the red, the man who needs no introduction. It's Pro Randy himself, going to be showing us what he's got today on this map. The map, by the way, is called Copper Hill, version 1.0.1. Not a common map, but that's because it's so small. Pretty much perfect for 1v1, but usually I cast a lot of those team games, so I don't tend to see a whole lot of this. Wind speed, notably, is remarkably high. A lot of the 1v1 maps I can't help but see are usually very solar centric, and it seems like this one is not the case. Going to be extremely rewarding for those players who are interested in mixing it up with a little bit of wind. So already we have a bot lab coming up for Bloodier. We have bot lab coming up for Randy as well. Both commanders investing heavily in wind economy here. So this takes a lot of time to build. So we're already a minute and 16 into this game, and we're just seeing the lab finish up just about now for Randy at the 120 minute mark. Bloodier just a little bit ahead of schedule. Both of these commanders basically right on schedule though, and you can see both of them with effectively the same build order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wind turbines here for Bloodier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Randy. Now Randy's going into a couple more wind turbines here on the back of all this, looking to get that economy a little bit stronger here. We went for about 100 energy per second, more or less, with those wind turbines before going for the lab, and then I think the idea is to go up to about 200 or so before getting ready for full-blown unit production. Now Constructor is already out on the map, and it's going to go build some stuff. We're going to put down a radar tower and a metal extractor into a whole bunch more metal extractors and even some LLTs over here. We do have the grunt out to protect as well, so that's good. Similarly, going for the same thing over here, minus the LLTs and the radar tower here. So interesting. We're going to see a little bit of a more greedy strategy here from Bloodier. Definitely going to be a little faster on the expand, but also it comes with a little bit less stability. So I like that we see the extra grunts out and about here, positioning them around, making sure that there's no way for enemy units to move into the base and cause all sorts of havoc right now. Nicely done by the blue commander. Now this is absolutely me learning right alongside you guys. I am studying up, and I think all of you should too, especially if you're considering signing up, which there will be a link to down below in the comment section, as there always will be. A whole bunch of good links down there, but specifically the links will be for a Discord channel to go join the Bar Pro League official Discord, where all the actual announcements are and where the whole thing is coordinated through. And then also there will be the signups where you can actually go and register yourself. You don't have to be a pro. There's no, established OS cutoff limit, and even I am going to be playing, so just shows you how low the bar is going. No bar pun intended there. But yeah, anyone is more than welcome to sign up, and so I definitely encourage anybody and everybody to go sign up, because it's going to be some good fun. I'll be playing a whole bunch of other names and faces that you might recognize are going to be playing. Whole thing is put on. The whole show is coordinated by Barcast TV, who's a great caster. One of the other bar content creators. Really respect and enjoy some of his content as well. Go check it out. He has a really good emphasis on 1v1 content, so if maybe that's more of your style, I'm sure you're well aware of him, but in case you aren't, you should go check out that channel as well. I'll try to leave a link down to his channel as well in the description. Lots of links down there for you to peruse, but I definitely recommend you pause this video and go check it out in case you're interested, and then once you come right on back, maybe welcome back. Now you're here again. Welcome back. A lot of grunts have been built from both teams, and this is not surprising in the slightest. Typically, these grunts are built in mass to try and actually do a little bit of damage here. We're looking for a little bit of a run by over on this section. We actually just end up losing a grunt right here. Looks like Randy was pretty much anticipating that and put a couple of grunts over on that side, doing an excellent job of holding the line right here. So you can see Bloodier definitely wants to get aggressive right here, and actually takes a really nice trade. Gets 2 of Randy's grunts right here. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it definitely is, especially if we could put a resbot out on the front line. I'd like this a lot more for Randy, but right now, yeah, we do have the resbot up for Bloodier. He's going to start picking up those fallen soldiers over here. But for the time being, yeah, Randy is just going to be dealing with whatever he can. Going for a bit more constructors, a couple more energy producers here. Wind turbines is what those are called. Construction tower going to be the decision here for Bloodier. So going for that static build power as opposed to that mobile build power. It's always an interesting choice. In these 1v1s, it feels like the mobile build power is a little bit more viable just because of the way that it can scale a little bit easier, especially when you start to get into these situations where you need to start expanding and you need to start throwing up towers all over the place here. You can see the commander actually moving forward right here for Randy. We do have a couple of grunts moving up north here. Love to see that we're spreading these out and starting to sort of scan around and see what's actually available here. Randy capitalizing on the fact that he has this radar tower up. Let's switch to the Randy cam. And there we go. We can see this radar tower is really pivotal right here. It actually highlights quite a lot. It doesn't really highlight a lot of this ground over here, but it definitely is keeping track of this entire army right now for Bloodier, or the army of Bloodier, I should say. I feel like I can't help but feel like I'm horribly mispronouncing this. Like it should be Bloodier or Bloodier or something like that. I don't know. Something with some kind of an accent. Either way, though, the blue commander definitely trying to get the fight rolling here. He's got this resbot that he desperately wants to get in on the action, try and resurrect whatever units it can, patch up some of these. You can see most of these have been healed up to full health as well. Very good to see, but the armies are just continuously growing at this point. Are we going into any kind of tech transition? Not at the time being. A whole bunch of solar panels are thrown down right here by the blue commander. Love to see that. Stabilizing the economy where the wind is crashing. Right now, Randy actually hitting a killer E-stall. Yeah, all the energy is gone for the red commander. That was a nice save right there by Bloodier to put those down. Also managing to snipe some of the grunts that were coming over here for the red player here. Also have a grunt in the back line over here as well. Finds the LLT, so that's going to be quite nice. At the very least, Randy deflects that minor attack over there, but it does reveal that it's only an LLT. You know what? Randy's commander is pretty far forward here. The LLT can put in a lot of work against these grunts. That's a nice engagement right there. Very nice, yeah. Bloodier trying to back up this hillside here, but ending up crowding the grunts together means that the spread on the grunts for Randy is going to be quite a bit better. The concave always is going to beat the convex. Exploiter built up here, that's quite nice. That actually provides a nice little fallback point for the blue commander should he decide that these units need to be put on a stabilization platform. Okay, there's a big improvement. So Randy is sending out the constructor to start up a whole bunch of wind turbines over here, getting ready to get really, really aggressive with the economic expansion. Probably a little bit uncomfortable with where the energy situation is at. That makes a whole lot of sense considering he's been at an E-stall for well, quite a while now. The solar panels have done wonders to save Bloodier's economy, but he doesn't have the same sort of scale planned out yet. So we'll have to see if maybe he goes into an advanced solar panel or maybe just decides to go for the win here before that energy problem catches up with him. Pretty significant threat over here. There's also an aggravator that was built. That's interesting. Oh, the aggravator must have been built in order to counteract this LOT over there, but not going to see that opportunity through. Yeah, tons and tons of grunts pushed through over here. I think Bloodier definitely underestimated the force that was actually moving in this direction. Is now going to have a whole bunch of grunts moving on up into this side of the map. If we get a couple resbots up there and we manage to actually resurrect all this while cleaning it all up relatively cleanly, I think it could probably work out pretty well here for the blue commander, but at least for the time being, yeah, it's a dead constructor, dead resbots, dead grunts all over the place. The red commander is still going to be able to pull some of these forces back too. Maybe. Some of them will escape. Others, maybe not so lucky. Nice micro right there by the blue commander though. Yeah, grunts being spread all over the place. You can see these commanders are playing pretty fast here, microing a whole bunch of these units all over the place. We just select all of them. You can see issuing commands to everybody and anybody. Yeah, all these armies decide to clash right here, realizing that that was a significant force of the red army, decides to pull the trigger right here and push into all this static defense that was built up on this hill, kills 3 of those LLTs, but it comes at a significant cost in grunts right here. Finally, we start up some T1 solar panels right now for Randy so that the energy economy stabilizes. Not the end of the world right now, but definitely a tremendous metal advantage for the blue commander, who has now taken a nice commanding lead. These metal extractors down here have been wonderful. Randy's had some of these metal extractors as well down south, but yeah, losing that northern area definitely hurt quite a bit for Bloodier. LOT is pretty much finished up on this hillside, so that aggravator will have somewhere safe to retreat back to, but meanwhile these grunts are continuing to push forward. I wouldn't wonder if maybe a grunt or two, or sorry, not a grunt or two, a constructor or two waddling around and building twin guard towers every here and there wouldn't be the worst idea, just in order to stabilize some of these areas, make these run-bys a little bit less explosive. Just like that though, 2 metal extractors go down. A couple of these grunts were actually peeled off and will be sent back to kill the constructor. Oh, that really hurts. Oh, actually Randy didn't notice. Didn't notice the constructor was there. He was too busy microing all these units at home. Starts up a second bot lab, actually. Okay, interesting. We're going to double bot lab production right now on 20-ish metal per second. We're getting a little more from Reclaim right now, so that's where a large majority of that metal is coming from. But I guess Randy just deciding he's got to spend that metal somewhere, so he might as well spend it on a whole bunch of more troops. Meanwhile, this hero grunt over here is taking out 2 more metal extractors. Very, very nicely done. And yeah, that's going to be another 4 metal per second being denied right here from the blue commander. We're going for exploiters here as well, and I think I like that idea quite a lot. Tricky battle. We're on the side of a hill right here, which is going to help out Randy, but now that the units have basically lined up, it's going to be a Civil War style Civil War. We've got the blue and the red fighting each other right now. Loads and loads of grunts. Surprised that we're not seeing a sturdier composition going up. There's the resbots, by the way, patching up everything in this area. It's exactly what I was hoping to see. There goes all those units that were once destroyed and were once sent over. Now you can see every unit with a halo right here has a second chance to prove itself for the blue army. There we go, and right on cue, the thugs do start rolling out here, so that's great. I was just about to say, I'm surprised we don't see a sturdier army composition rolling out to the field at this point, trying to do a little bit more damage. Yeah, that thug gets caught out a little bit ahead of where it should be. Yeah. The blue line in a little bit of an awkward position right now because Randy has a direct access route directly into the main base of the blue commander. However, the commander for the red player himself is actually in quite a precarious position right here. Yeah, Randy forced to run for his life, but the trigger is pulled and Blue Deer sends in the troops for a little bit of a push. Yeah, Randy definitely feeling the burn from all of these grunts. The commander is surrounded right now. The thug's firing away as well. There's not enough energy for D-guns for all those units, and down goes the red commander in a wonderful first match beyond all reason. Let's jump into game number 2. Game number 2 going to be played on Desolation version 1.0.1. A bit of an interesting map, similar to the other one in the same way that there are hills, but there's this complicated little center ground where you can put some artillery pieces, put maybe some rocketeers up on top of, and it's really tricky to get up here because you have to either take this extra long path to get up to this part, or you have to take this sort of loop-de-looped path, which is either one going to be a little bit tricky to manage here. So, spawning on the southern side, they've swapped colors here, but don't mind that. Swapping colors is not going to be the end of the world here. Randy going to be spawning as the blue one this time, and Blodier, who took the first point in the first match, let me clear the map right there, with 1 point on the board here, spawning as the red commander, both of which going to be playing as Cortex once again, both of which starting with those extra metal extractors. 1.9, so we're getting a little bit less metal per extractor on this map, but you spawn with 4 of them, so a slightly more powerful economy on this map that you start off with. Always love to see it. I feel like usually about 8 to 10 metal is usually the average for what you start with. Interestingly, Bloodier has not gone for the 4th metal extractor here. This is a bit of an interesting play. So Randy has gone for 4 metal extractors into the bot lab, meaning that his bots are going to come out a little bit slower, but he's going to have about an extra 200 metal by the time that this metal extractor gets up and running here. Yeah, Bloodier very slow to go claim that metal extractor here, focusing heavily on the energy economy. I don't blame him, but it's certainly going to put him behind as far as the economic scales go. I'll be curious to see the metal generated after this match is played. I bet it's going to look pretty good in the early game for Randy here. Randy putting up some more wind turbines while that first constructor is being worked on. 30 seconds left on that bad boy, so I'm expecting to see that commander power it out after we finish up all of these big fans. Love to see it. If you love to see it, you can always like and subscribe down below. Join up on the Brightworks. We just passed 5,000 members. We're actually almost 30% of the way through 6,000 members. It's just impressing me every day how tremendous this community is growing. Appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you. Anyway, Bloodier going for more and more constructors here. We've got 2 grunts on the field. I would have liked to see 3. There's really 3 angles of attack right here, so I think 3 would have made a lot more sense. Either way, though, building those wind turbines and trying to stabilize, we're going to have to go into solar panels, though. Wind speed is just too slow right now for either of these commanders to rely on, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see, yep, solar panels starting to pop up here and there. So Randy puts down a solar panel, who also had a couple less wind turbines because he went for that early metal extractor, which means that he can afford that solar panel. So there we go. There's that advantage already expressing itself here, where the energy economy is now going to be tremendously in the advantage for the blue commander here. Well, I say that right as the wind speed goes back up again, which means that Bloodier once again secures an advantage with the wind turbines. Fickle is the mistress of the wind. She can often switch her mind quite rapidly, and it can cause a lot of problems. But either way, at least for the time being, you can always see the economy's down in the bottom right, but both of these commanders are looking just about even. That being said, Randy's economy is always going to be a little bit more stable just because of those wind turbines, or because of those solar panels, pardon me. Starting up a whole block of wind turbines here as well, similar to last game, and I love to see it. I really think that's a defining strategy here for making sure that you have a really nice, easy expansion plan. Helps spare you APM when you're trying to microbank the base. We've also got a nice plan of bases here. We've got a radar tower, a whole bunch of metal extractors, even an exploiter queued up right here. So big plans right now for the blue commander. We've got grunts coming up all over the place. There's a concentrated force of grunts for blue deer moving through the middle of the map right now. These grunts want to try and move over towards the blue side of the map. So far, I don't think we've seen any aggression out of either of these two, and this will be the very first time that they spot each other. An excellent first engagement right there for blue deer, who manages to take down one of the grunts for Pro Randy, moving in with 5 grunts. The defender's advantage is real, and it will help here, but I can't help but feel like we're gonna have to concede these 2 metal extractors at the very least. Maybe not. Okay, you know, I underestimated the defender's advantage despite calling it out. I think it definitely expressed itself a little stronger than I realized it would. Meanwhile, grunt that tried to do a little run by over here is shut down by some more. Blue deer absolutely on top of it here, showing us what he's got today. I don't recognize the name blue deer. It's not a name that's intimately familiar with me, but it's definitely a name that I think I'm going to remember long after this. Definitely showing us some top tier gameplay right now. More and more grunts coming out from Pro Randy, though, using that commander as the build power right now, not transitioning into a construction turret. Although I think it is about time. We've got a significant metal economy. We're up to 17 metal per second here. Got a couple hundred metal in the bank as well, so I think it's about time that we start thinking about that sort of expansion. Excellent catch right there. Oh, that was a beautiful catch right there. Yeah, the blue commander managed to take down basically all of those grunts. That is a huge pick off right there. That's going to send blue deer back to the hills here. There's not really much the red commander can do to express any sort of aggression over on that side anymore. Likewise over here, a whole bunch of grunts going down. So Randy's showing us he's not afraid to use those grunts wherever they're most needed. There's one, though, manages to sneak by and catch a couple of metal extractors. 1, maybe 2. There we go. Nice. Okay. Need a little micro added onto that bad boy. Won't happen, so that grunt is going to go down. Another hero grunt over here. Also doing some good work. So at the end of the day, those grunts managed to take out 1, 2, 3 metal extractors. It's a significant loss right there for the red commander, blue deer, in order to get just a couple of metal extractors there. Not sure if I appreciate it. Constructor here in a lot of trouble as well. These grunts denying that metal extractor. There we go. It'll be requeued now that some grunt reinforcements are sent up to the front lines. Hero grunt over here will also spy the army of grunts moving across right now from Randy. We need to address this army that Randy is sending out here. I think a resbot would be the best solution here because a lot of these grunts are going to leave a pretty corpse behind when they die, meaning that it'll be very viable to actually go for a little bit of a resurrection campaign. Try and bring back from the dead your enemy's army. Use them however you can. Yeah, nice defensive surround right here. Doing an excellent job of deflecting that attack over there. Nice deflection over there as well. Going to mean that the constructor is free to do its reign right there, and you can see those grunts were basically forced along a trajectory over in this direction, forced out into this part of the map. A nice deflection away from the main base right here with the forces of blue deer. Definitely a very skilled player for recognizing there's enough grunts at home to deflect that attack, but not take the fight full on. And waited until he had amassed enough forces, sacrificing some of the metal extractors, sacrificing some of the commanders, not going to worry the red commander here. Now there is a vehicle transition coming up right now for Blood here. Not going to go into those res bots, it would seem, instead more interested in the constructors. Sorry, the vehicles. Surely interested in constructors too, but that's probably not why he's going into the vehicles here. Starts up an energy converter or two. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you're wasting metal, or energy rather, you might as well build a converter or two. It's a little bit of free metal per second, basically half of a metal extractor on this map. A little bit more so than that, actually. This trade started off good for Randy, and I guess it still ended up good for Randy here. Losing significantly less units. Some of these were extremely low health, but I think overall, not a bad situation for the blue commander here. The metal extractors that have been taken up on this hill are sort of balancing out the metal extractors that have been lost on the southern side over here. There is a constructor moving forward to grab these. There is a commander moving down south here. So I think eventually that advantage is going to continue to expand for blue deer. It's just a matter of whether we can actually get units across the map to do any damage. Randy is kind of bunkered up in the middle of the map, but it's just a single LLT right here. I can't help but wonder if Randy's actually a little bit overexposed right now. I guess he's got the grunts on the high ground here to come support as well, if need be. But yeah, I feel like this commander is really, really exposed. He wants that metal so badly. 240 metal. Hard to pass up an opportunity like that. Goes for an LLT there. I think that's to defend himself from any would-be aggressors. So most of the fight is happening over here on the right-hand side. These grunts are about to meet two of the most dangerous units for them in the T1 stage, though. The Pounder. Very, very powerful riot tank. Exceptional against these T1 spam units. The grunts, the pawns, the ticks. Any of the T1 trash. Goblins and... oh, what are they called? The Spitters. Whatever they're called for Legion. Oh man, what are they called? Lobbers, that's what they're called. Yeah, nice movements right here by the red commander. Decides to sacrifice these units, realizes, hey, there's not actually a whole lot I'm going to be able to do with all these. Constructor flees to the corner over here and actually manages to escape with its life. That's quite nice. Randy probably a little bit concerned for what's going on over here. There's a medium tank pushing forward as well. Definitely enough sustain on that bad boy to help this tower win the LLT fight over here. Very nicely done. Yeah, the vehicle transition has absolutely caught Randy off guard here. Now, the riot tanks do go down, so at the very least, that removes a significant threat from the board right here. The thing about the vehicles, right, is they're such a heavy metal expense that it's really, really difficult to justify going for them if you don't do a significant amount of damage or you don't have enough of an advantage in order to actually present an argument for them. A couple of grunts got stuck behind enemy lines over here. Don't think they're going to live to see their families. They've got hell and high water to trudge through before they get back. You know what? They find the one good opening. Oh, never mind. They're told to fight. Well, there we go, I guess. They'll decide to pull the trigger over there and fight. This constructor going to continue building these metal extractors over here. Third or fourth time that it's rebuilt those metal extractors, but I think it's probably a good enough, yeah, expense of resources, just keeping those up and running as much as possible. Vehicle transition for Randy as well, getting into some of those medium tanks. He's queued essentially to start up the vehicle transition as soon as he saw those vehicles coming out for the blue commander. Pounder is back up and running on the front lines here. Grave Robber helping out immensely as well. Okay. It's quite good. When the grunts collide like that, though, there's not really anything the Pounder can do because it's going to do just as much damage to friendly units as it is to enemy units, and just like that, the entire army evaporates right here for the red commander. Medium tanks now rolling out in mass right now. There's also plenty of grunts over on this side. Would love to see some of these grunts sent over to try and scout this. Oh, that is a lot of exploiters, though. Actually very heavily locked down on the southern side for Randy. Definitely not interested in any run-bys coming through. Would kind of like to see the same thing happen over here, actually. Yeah, that's a huge metal field all going back to Randy right now. Wouldn't be surprised if the blue commander manages to turn all that metal into a really powerful army and use it to end this game right now. Yeah, those medium tanks are so tricky to deal with. Bloodier knows he needs to be aggressive right now, but he doesn't have the res bots in order to actually profit from a war right now. No war profiteering to be had, I suppose. Yeah, the red commander desperately needs to get some of those res bots out on the field. Doesn't even have his T1 lab. He does have the T1 bot lab still, but not using it whatsoever. Oh, we do have some res bots on the way. Okay, res bots are on the way. At the very least, that'll equalize this battle a little bit here. It'll allow those res bots to patch up any of these units, but it's not like Randy couldn't go for some of his own. And indeed, I think he should. He's actually committed fully. Oh, actually, he can't go for some of his own. Yeah, he's committed fully to the vehicle aggression here, so... a little bit tricky for the red commander to get a hold of that, actually, because it still looks like there's grunt production here, but there absolutely isn't. Yeah, these res bots are going to be tremendous, though. If they can resurrect everything over on this side of the map, the red army is going to continue to grow from the front line, whereas the blue army will only be supplied by the reinforcements over here, and it's not like those medium tanks can't be resurrected either. Riot tanks giving it their all, trying their very best. The impulse on their attack is quite valuable. Ugh, the res bots go down. That's a bit sloppy. Losing those res bots right there certainly hurts. Randy caught with quite low energy, actually, right now. Yeah, turn some stuff off to try and get a little energy in the bank here so that he can D-gun. This is a perfect time to go for a D-gun. Yeah, nice D-gun right there. Beautifully done. Those tanks are so slow going up the hill right there. You got to be careful with them, but man, they slow down quite a lot when they go up that hill like that. Nice cloak on the commander, too. Nice D-guns right there. Randy making a huge play right there, cleaving apart a tremendous portion of the army right there for the red commander. That's going to be a nice little change of pace right there for the blue commander, and I wouldn't be surprised that maybe he just has enough medium tanks to start counter-aggressing. Yeah, he's just got a huge army of medium tanks. So much health in medium tanks here on the front at this point. That's where the advantage is going to come from, though, is all of this reclaim here that can be repurposed into stronger and stronger units. I can't help but wonder, maybe we're even going to go for a T2 transition. We don't see those all too often, these 1v1s, but there is 2,500 metal on the line right here on this front, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we saw a little something of a T2 lab coming up eventually. We have enough energy for it. Pro Randy, that is, has enough energy for it. Looks like both commanders actually have a decent energy economy at this point, but the metal is certainly at an advantage for the blue commander now. We need to start thinking about sending tanks down over into this area. We need to really clear this out. I think the advantage that Randy has had for holding this southern area has been to his extreme benefit here. Essentially, these commanders were evenly matched, except for that massive hit to all those tanks. You got to remember, the D-gun doesn't just destroy the tanks, it doesn't just break the tanks, it completely destroys them, meaning the metal is lost forever, so the red or blue commander isn't going to get it back. But when, obviously, it's coming out of your enemy's pocket, yeah, it's quite a significant loss here. The trigger's pulled, and these tanks are going to get into the bloodiest warfare there possibly is, just smashing into the fronts and faces of each other here. Tactical, maybe. Elegant, I would not say so. Bloody are using the commander to push up on this hillside. Oh, the commander. Oh, no, there's no energy. No energy for the commander. Oh, no, he loses it to an LLT. Oh, no. Blue Deer goes down to an LLT because he didn't have enough energy in the bank to degun it. What a tragedy. What a tragic way to go out in an otherwise beautiful game right there. I can't believe that's how we're going to conclude this match. Well, that was just the 2 games that I had sent into my inbox, but I sure hope you enjoyed. Yeah, you can see that advantage right there. I just wanted to point this out. This is the extra metal extractor that we saw, leading to a little bit of a... oh, wait, actually, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm reading this incorrectly. I don't know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed these matches. If you'd like to see some more 1v1 content, feel free to let me know down below. I'm always happy to cover more and more of these games. Be sure, again, once more, to check out those links. Sign up for the tournament. It'll be a whole lot of fun. You can go check out the tournament right alongside me. I'm sure there'll be a prize pool and all that sort of fun stuff as well. And other than that, I just hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the very next game of Beyond All Reason. Peace out, folks.